Hello and welcome back. Okay, so we're next to the circle of the Moonlight Army here. Dozens of Necrosavants and a few Necrosavant Lords. I have decided to take this fight, so let's go ahead and do it. However, if this or another fight that we do from now on goes poorly enough, for the epilogue episode where I will go through the team, I think I will load to this point in case we lose people, because basically the run is kind of over. We are just waiting for the Davkul helmet event at this point, and I can't really do much to speed that up, apart from what I've already done, which is to increase the event frequency all the way to 5 via the Swifter's mod options. Also, last time, I'll mention this, I did make a mistake. So apparently for the Davkul helmet event you need to be between 4 and 10 tiles away from a town. So any settlement. So yes, I would imagine, well, basically yes, we've been too far away over here waiting for that event. So we need to be closer to civilization for it to be able to trigger. But in any case, it's time to fight some undead. And it does count as the forest. So 26 Necrosavants. Okay, well, we'll begin with waiting. I'm not sure if the AI will immediately go for us after waiting itself. I mean, probably it will. But there's no other enemy types apart from these Necrosavants here. And I have a recollection of them, well, yes, doing this, so they don't necessarily engage straight away. At least if they don't have visual on us. And the AI would work differently if there were other enemy types here as well. It's possible that we actually need to advance on them a bit for them to be triggered. I'll continue to be hesitant here. Okay, now things are happening. So they're manually walking towards us. Which may be something that's been patched, changed out of the current version of Hardened. Not sure if this is intentional. I would imagine that it isn't. In any case, I guess we mostly just hold here. Though I could move Leonhard a little bit to the side there to act as a juicy bait. And I think I will. I could use the Falcon. That doesn't really do much, does it? Plus 20 initiative until the start of your next turn in the next round. I don't really benefit from that. Oh, it's allies who are not stunned, rooted, or fleeing gain the Falcon released effect. Hadn't actually noticed that that's there. Well, it is. We could also move Dieter a little bit to the side, but let's not. So yes, Leonhard. Let's move you 2 tiles, I guess. It's going to be out of the tactician range, that's fine. Okay, so they're probably still waiting now, but after we've waited, then they probably will start doing things. And there's the blood curse on Bertwin. Okay, please do something now. Well, they are doing things, but They're being quite slow about it. So yes, I would imagine that this behavior has been changed by now. Anyways, one thing I can do is just get someone in melee range, and that someone is probably Leonhardt, after which they should behave normally, I would imagine. So we're going to take a bunch of damage as they come in. There's not really much I can do about that. What I could have done, I guess, is position near some obstacles, perhaps, to protect the back line, but I'll just accept that this is how it is. Okay, so let's get Leonhardt in there. Do I use Indom already? I guess I will. So he has 79 melee defense, but sometimes they'll obviously still hit him. And now they're doing things as they should. And I did decide to leave the banner out of this. I would imagine that he is unnecessary. We shall see though. Kind of indecisive there for this one. So I don't really think this fight is like worth taking in any circumstances, but I'm just taking this to see how it feels like at this end game stage that we're in. The risk is most likely, almost never at least, worth it. Anyways, let's start killing here. I'll just bonk another one, perhaps. Okay, and now we do obviously get a lot of benefit out of Blitzkrieg, so sure, let's use that. We'll also use Onslaught, I guess, since we probably want, well, then again, 11 melee defense, 25. Do we even need this? Well, a couple of us are wavering. Not sure if it matters that much. I did just use that backup plan, so I guess I will use this. But yeah, possibly a mistake. And I'll go ahead and use this ability twice. Let's also try to save some kills for the ones who have Berserk. Like so. So yeah, the back line is obviously the more vulnerable part of the team. We'll see if Swain here will make it. 25 Necrosavants left. So I can disarm here. I don't know, let's go for this one. Fantastic. I can also go for the rotation, yes. Should I? Probably unnecessary so far. Okay, so yeah, I can do 2 disarms. And I suppose I will, since there's so many targets. Okay. Would be nice to get a Berserk activation for Hakon. Then again, not really, actually, since we have the Inspiring Presence, so it doesn't really matter there. So, which one will I target with Horik? I guess I just go for this one. And also, yes, the Reforged bolster ability helps quite a bit in situations like this. Over here, I guess I also disarm. 94 there. This one may be dead pretty soon. And this one is more difficult to hit. I guess I still go for this one though. Okie dokie. And dealing with the lords quickly is also a good idea if one can manage that. But it's only a 74 here. Go for this one. And let's save the kill for Bertwin. Okay, so no one with Berserk on this flank, right? Seems like it. So it doesn't really matter. I guess I just get rid of this one. Good job. Let's not do anything else, I think. Not sure if it matters though. Since I'm going to be using the Voice of Davkul anyway, so I can keep on indoming. I don't know, let's try to hit something. With a stun, I guess. Okay, and now let's see. Oh, whoopsie daisy. I used the indom needlessly there. I'm a little bit tired. It's been a few days since I played, so that's my excuse. It was a waste. Anyways, let's kill things. Go for this one first, and then we save that for Swain, I suppose. Anyways, yeah, sloppy play by me. My mind is elsewhere. Alright. Weaken that one. We can also activate Berserk with Raban. At this point, I guess I could start going for the Lords, even though it's not obviously as high of a chance to hit. Disarm the Lord, I guess. Good job. And I could also use the Release Falcon for the plus 20 initiative. Does that even matter though? I would imagine that it doesn't really help us at all. So what I could do is rotate if there's a good target. Doesn't really look like there is. So I'll just end here. Okay. So Fahad can get the kill, but he doesn't have Berserk, so it doesn't really matter. Don't really benefit if Hakon gets the kill, but one less Necrosavant is one less Necrosavant. Well, then again, yes, there's the AoE days. Okay, so never mind, I was incorrect again. This one is already staggered. Just kill this, I guess, even though that's kind of wasted damage. Oh, what the? There we go. And I think again I made a mistake. I didn't use adrenaline there. I should have. Whoopsie daisy. I'm just chock full of mistakes today. Absolutely chock full. Okay, anyways. This one still has that. Let's get rid of that. And also, yes, I guess I want hold steady over the Voice of Davkul ability. So yet another mistake I made earlier. Running out of fatigue here. Would have been nice to have battle flow available for Bertwin. So if I switch weapon... I guess I will switch weapon. But yes, now completely out of fat. So just end there. Okay. Let's try to thin the field. Like so. 16 left. Well, it's going, I'd say, pretty well, despite the mistakes. I wouldn't say they're huge mistakes, but still. Far from flawless. I'll increase the combat speed a bit. That was a weird move. Okay, and yes, I think I'll just recover. Okay, now it is kind of imperative to get rid of these lords, I'd say. They're just too deadly. Yeah, even Carolus is kind of in trouble there, and now completely fatigued out as well. So which one do I target? Which lord? And once again, I forget, do they have that Savage Strength perk? It doesn't look like they do, so I can disarm them. And yeah, my memory just isn't fantastic. I know I've checked that multiple times during this playthrough. But anyways, that means this one can be disarmed. So I'll go for damage on this one. Okay, that's not good. That is not good. 72 armor left there. What I could have done is do the same thing as I did in the Black Monolith, which is to give Leonhard the Davkul armor, which repairs itself. But I did not. Okay, 74, let's go for it. Now I go for this. If it matters at all, which I guess it didn't. Okay, so rotation is still possible. Do I need to do that, though? Not really. Doesn't look like. So I will just save the fat. Alright, and I could recover here or just bonk this one. What is the better choice? I guess just bonking. that won't count as Berserk. I'll wait with Raban, I think. Maybe I can get a Berserk. I suppose I'm using Pummel and Smite always here, so it doesn't really matter which one I... Well, does it? No, it shouldn't matter which one I choose first. Let's use the Pummel first, though. Because maybe, just maybe, with the Vanquisher gain ground, maybe there was a chance there. I'm not going to think about this too hard, but maybe there was a chance there that I don't actually get to move 2 tiles in case I could have gotten a kill there with this last smite. I don't know. Whatever, kind of babbling. Okay, 71 only, but I do go for it, I think. And now I'll be greedy and save that for Raban. Let's see if I can use this. Yes, I can. So let's go ahead and do it. I will need some help for Leonhard as well. He may get struck down here pretty soon, actually. If I passing step next to him, that's kind of helpful. Let's see if it actually is. Excellent. 12 left. So it looks like only our tank is actually in trouble. And I must say that's completely my own fault. Just very sloppy. Also, I could have managed here if I had used the adrenaline first to be able to kill this one as well, I think, with the help of combo. Oh well, too bad. That's just too bad. Anyways, I'd like to go this way, I suppose. Yeah, that was yet again a mistake. Alright, so far so good. There may be a berserking opportunity, perhaps. Well, let's wait. And there it is. Could also berserk with Raban, but let's not. I think I'll just damage this one. Alright, well, it looks like camps like this are definitely feasible, manageable for this team, despite what's happening here. Sure. And I still can probably save Leonhardt. Move here and use adrenaline, perhaps. That is also not quite optimal, though. That's going to block Bertwin next round. I think I'll still go for it. You don't have Pathfinder, so if I use Polearm help here, let's allow someone else to do it. Okay, so Fahad to the rescue. Here, perhaps. Hakon recovers now for the Fresh and Furious. Though yeah, actually, yes, I have Passing Step. So as long as I hit the 95, we are fine. There we go, nice. And I can still attack as well. Thanks to combo. Let's just move. Knockback may actually be the best option here. Alright. And if I use this first, I should be able to... Actually, no, never mind. I am stupid. Not enough fatigue. Be able to do more. They really want to get Leonhardt. Well, one of them did. Okay. Sloppy, but everyone makes it out of that. Feels good. And we get a nimble armor out of it. Alright, so now obviously the priority is to try to get the Davkul helmet. How much food do we have? Should be enough for a while, it looks like. But I'll take a closer look here as well. So yeah, let's find a nice spot to camp, I guess. Between 4 and 10 tiles, so maybe like here somewhere. So that should have plenty of settlements nearby where we can visit for reasons. Sadly, this is not Legend, so I cannot do camping tasks while we wait, though. But yeah, maybe somewhere here is a good spot. But yeah, based on this fight, it seems like the Necromancer camps are tougher still in Hardened, at least in this version of Hardened, than Ancient Undead or Necrosavant camps, which is, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. And I'll leave the Boar Skull camp there. We're not bloodthirsty enough anymore. We are all a little bit tired. It's been a long campaign. So let's find a nice little spot to have a little holiday, so to speak. So yes, there's a couple of levels, so let's do those. Sven, level 22. Finally reaches 90 base melee skill. Wolfer, level 13. Not that it matters. So it also has to be night time for the event to be triggerable. Anyways, what I'll do is camp here. Hakon suffers a dislocated jaw. How nice. In case we get ambushed, I'll switch there. So let's waste a lot of time and money by doing this. You lose a Kopesh. And it was, I believe, Hakon again as the culprit. Semi-soon we will need to go out to purchase sustenance. We can do like a couple more days, I think. Because this number may not be accurate. Let's take a look here. Supposing 5, supposing 2, supposing 5. Okay, let's do like one more night. Okay. Visit Eichholz now to purchase food. And it seems the Holy War is on again. And we need more sustenance than this, so let's go to Hermannshof. War is upon us. Okay, that is ridiculously expensive, but I will purchase. Let's also go to Finsterwiller. Leave those brigands be. It's also expensive here, but sure. Alright, and let's go, I don't know, here. That should be far enough, I think. Between 4 and 10 tiles from the settlement. Fires of religious turmoil. One quality of life feature I think I would like is to be able to disable those Fires of Religious Turmoil pop-ups. Okay, so this is the event where either Southerners or Northerners will get upset. Go with this option since we are decidedly Northern in our company makeup. So yes, this is kind of silly, but I did set one of the main goals of the campaign as acquiring the Davkul helmet. And I don't think I've ever actually killed the thief out of that event, but there's a first time for everything. Just a bad dream. So yeah, essentially, I don't know. I guess I could cheat the event if I knew how. But I mean, this is not really the legit way of doing it anyway, but we're not really doing anything else anymore that matters in this campaign. I don't know, feels a little bit dumb to be out here just waiting for that event. And if I had not increased the event frequency and just played normally, who knows, maybe it would be like day 1000 when we get the event. Okay, here's the sacrifice. Let's go with Omar. So I'll need a new sacrifice pretty soon, I guess. We'll do that as we purchase more sustenance. Let's do one more night, perhaps. I choose to believe that this number here is correct. 3 more days. Okay. So 1 sacrifice, please. You're too expensive, though. Why must everything be so costly? Inflation is running wild. Okay, here we go. That's a better price. Milo! Aren't you glad we found you, Milo? Okay, I'll step on over here now. So is this actually possibly too far? Let's be here, somewhere here. I would imagine that this is a good distance for the event. Let's step a little bit closer. Hakon again. Anyways, yeah, it's been a long and mostly fun campaign, but everything comes to an end eventually. Hakon, no, never mind, he's back. But as I was trying to say there, before being interrupted, everything does come to an end eventually, even the good things. Come on, game, just give me the event. Fires of religious turmoil. And people are fighting. But yeah, I've never had the... You lose a Raider's Crusher. Anyways, I've never had the event, the Davkul helmet event, I think. And based on how it's going so far for us here, That's, Oh, is this it? Maybe. Anyways, what I was saying is that based on how difficult this seems to be to achieve, then it does make a lot of sense that I've never had it. Not sure if this is it, but let's see. It's not a rare sight to find a dead body on your journey. This one, though, is rather unusual. Fahad takes a long look. What's that on his chest? You crouch down and throw back the corpse's shirt. Scars run lengthwise all about his body, drawn in very familiar shapes. Forests, rivers, mountains. Fahad walks up. Ain't that a sight? Wolves do that or something. You stand back up. I think he did it to himself. Bloody footprints lead away from the scene. Let's follow these footprints. As you follow the footsteps, you begin to hear the murmurs of a chant. You tell the company to rest while you sneak forward, eventually finding a large bonfire with cloaked men circling around it. They stomp their feet and throw their hands up, shouting some token words to their elder god, Davkul. It's a bestial ceremony. Roaring and growling abound, and the men dance about with their oversized clothes like darkly spirits still angry at the world they'd departed. Gebhardt crawls up beside you and shakes his head. Just what is going on down there? What should we do? Let's wait and see what happens. You decide to wait it out and see what happens. Just as you say that, the cultists drag an old man before the fire. He bows his head before the flames, opens his arms, and then falls in. There are no screams. Another man is pulled forward. He whispers words to a cultist. They both nod, and so too this man puts himself to the flame. A third is pushed forth, but unlike the others, he is shackled and wild-eyed. He screams at the cultists. Fuck your god! He means nothing! It's all a lie! A face appears in the flames, its shape bulbous and churning in the smoke and fire. It is cruelty embodied and could be no better painted by flames than by darkness itself. It turns and grins. One of the cultists shouts, Davkul awaits you! But the prisoner kicks one of his imprisoners and tries to make a run for it. Swain, is this not your cult? I think this is the correct choice at least. I hope so. Instead of, hold on, let's see what happens next. It was the right choice. Okay. You ask Swain if he can do anything. Yeah, Swain, is this strange cult here? Is this part of your flock? He simply walks past you and down the hill. The group of cultists turn and look to him. He walks through the crowd to the prisoner. They talk. He whispers. The prisoner nods. When they finish, the Swain nods to the crowd of cultists. One member steps forward, disrobes, and pitches himself into the fire, screamless and without protest. Another cultist pitches a rake into the flames, tearing something out of it, and handing it over to Swain. The prisoner, his life ostensibly spared in an exchange, is freed, and you watch as Swain grabs him and takes him back up the hill. He pushes the man forward as he speaks. You have taken from Davkul, but the debt is paid. You ask what it is he has in his hand. The cultist holds up what had been retrieved from the flames. It is a skull patched over in leathered flesh, and stretched taut over its face is a freshly singed visage, presumably of the man who had tossed himself into the fire. Slight hints of his face twist and turn, his mouth ringed ajar, misshapen by a cruel and murmuring darkness. Still holding it aloft like a native showing off a prized scalp, Swain speaks bluntly. Davkul awaits us all. What's this? You gain a glimpse of Davkul. Alright, there we go. All of the goals of the campaign are achieved, though yes, I did kind of cheat to get this. But at this point, I don't think it mattered anymore. It would have been just more time spent here. Anyways, let's take a closer look at that. So where is it? Over here. Glimpse of Davkul. The glimpse of Davkul is a gift bestowed upon man by ancient and dark powers, a helmet merged with human skin and bones through the most unspeakable of rituals, a glimpse of a future where man shall become one with creations from a realm beyond. It shall never break, but instead keep regrowing its scarred skin on the spot. 270 durability, weight 10, regenerates itself by 90 points of durability each turn. Alright, yeah, that's pretty good. And you can, I guess, use it with all of the armor specs. So it's kind of a flexible choice. Anyways, so yes, there's a couple of things I may still want to do in this campaign. One is to fight lindworms, just to see how they feel in Hardened, which I know I've mentioned numerous times, and another would be to see how badly we get devastated, facing off against one of these really, really tough necromancer layers without having a good option, a good candidate to deal with the necromancers quickly. So I guess I'll see if I can find some lindworms here. And at this point, I suppose I'll also lower the event frequency down to 1 again. There we go, nice. So yes, the run is mostly over. I would imagine that this is the very last real episode of it. Unless, well, let's say I don't find lindworms. Will I really want to do another one just to find lindworms? I don't think so, especially since I didn't set lindworms as a primary goal of the campaign. But let's make a half-assed effort here to find some lindworms. So let's go south and also see if perhaps... I don't remember if the lindworm contract can only spawn in cities or if it can spawn in villages as well. But at least it can spawn in a city. So let's take a look there first and then scout the desert quickly. And then as our final act, I think we will go and face that necromancer camp. See if that is indeed as tough as it looks like. And I'll buy this absurdly expensive food here. Okay, let's go to Kaiwater. So we have seen some lindworms running about in the south a few times in this campaign. They've been afraid of us, and I've been afraid of them, because there's really not much of a point in actually fighting them. Not really worth the risk, usually. In Legends, in my experience, you can reach a point after which even lindworms and even stallworms, the tougher versions of lindworms, become easy. Kind of an autopiloting fight, where there's really not much risk. Does take a long while to get there, though. Anyways, as far as I know, the lindworm contract cannot spawn in the south, though. We should have enough food. I'll sell a few things here, now that we have stuff in the inventory and a decent price to be gotten for it. Once upon a time, we were really hurting. Not finding any necrosvants, or when we did, we couldn't really take them on, but those times are long past us. These are... I'll sell these two at least. Make some space, even though perhaps it doesn't even matter anymore in this campaign. I'll speak, I think, more about how I feel about Hardened in general, though if you've watched everything or most everything that, well, out of this campaign, then you probably already have a good idea. For the next campaign, I'll probably set my goal as the Sunken Library, since we didn't do that here. Anyways, let's try to find some lindworms. Well, yeah, I could have, whatever. Could have shown this guy the darkness. Since it doesn't really matter, you can sacrifice cultists as well, obviously. We're having a difficult time finding those lindworms. I don't know. Maybe... If we don't find those lindworms in a reasonable time frame, I don't think I'll try to force it. So... when I next do Reforged or Hardened, not sure if it will be the next campaign, actually. Maybe. Well, it's either that or Legends for the next one. But next time I do Reforged or Hardened, I guess we could, as one of the minor goals of the campaign, have lindworms as a target. Maybe something like, I can't skip lindworm fights after day, let's say 150, 100, 125. As long as people aren't injured enough or something like that. Maybe, I don't know. Get this horribly expensive stuff here. So yeah, I don't know. We are not finding those lindworms. I believe there's a way with the dev console to... I should look into it. Maybe with the dev console I could spawn a group of lindworms. If this were Legends, I think with the world editor I could do the same, but the world editor, as far as I know, doesn't... There is no world editor for Reforged. And also with the dev console, I think I could also reveal the whole map to see where lindworms lie. Oh, you silly guys. Stop enjoying yourselves. I guess I could take a look if that's something that can be done. Okay, so the dev console is enabled. So, taking a look at the mod options here for the dev console, we see that there's a reveal map command, F1. So I will press that now. Okay, and we do see lindworms over here. Do I see any more of them anywhere? There's a couple of Krakens here. Okay. But are there more lindworms? Surprisingly few entities running about in the world, actually. Well, it seems like, as far as I can see, there's only one group of lindworms. It's over here. Let's chase them down. The game is running really choppy, of course, as the whole world is revealed. So it seems that now it's working a bit better for some reason. Never mind, it's not. Okay, well, whatever, it doesn't matter. Please don't kill my lintworms. So this is not like the best group to handle lintworms item, but it's a pretty good one. I think I would like to have like at least 2 tanks. So actually if I press F1 again, will it unclear? Yes, it will. Okay. I'll leave the dev console here though. Lintworms. Stop running, you cowardly little critters. Die with honor. They're really running far. There they are. Okay, so 4 to 6 lintworms. So it's been a while since I've fought lintworms out of Legends. We'll see how this goes. I do have 3 pole arms, so that's good. Farid is with an injury here. I do have, I think, yes, I do have this. I'll give a few of us reach weapons. It's usually not a good idea to go into melee range with lintworms, unless it's Legends. But yeah, it must be said, I'm not really that experienced with them. I fought them in vanilla, yes. Don't remember actually if I've done lintworms in Reforged. I remember fighting a lintworm in the arena. Was it the first Reforged run that I did? Well, in any case. So, is it actually a good idea? Is it sensible, reasonable to go into a lintworm fight and actually fight in melee? Maybe not. So what I can do is go into melee and have reach weapons as a backup, or just start out with reach weapons for some of us. And of course, Dieter, the parry ability doesn't work against non-weapon attacks. So he will have 51 melee defense, not 51 plus 83. So yeah, I think we can engage with like one of them, maybe even 2 of them in the regular manner, but I should have these at least as a backup. Bertwin 69 melee defense. Leonhard will do what he's been doing. For this instance, it would be nice actually to be able to shield wall. This is 25 though. So we can't really continue doing it. Unless I use this, but I'm not going to. So we'll just go ahead and continue using this shield, which cannot shield wall. So yes, let's see here. There's a couple of reach weapons still. I think I'll try it like this. I'll give a few of us these as backup weapons. Also, you should be in the front line. But I'll try to engage at least one of them without resorting to the backline weapons. And we'll see how it goes. If it's a reasonable choice. Ideally, I can engage with... Actually, should I have the Davkul armor for Leonhard instead of Bertwin? I'll try to go without. Also, this terrain is not really fantastic for us, but let's go with it. Okay, so this will be a win. That's guaranteed. But how difficult is it? in Hardened. We're obviously a very, very late game team here. So let's take a closer look at these things. 75 melee skill. I have absolutely no memory of what they have in Vanilla, nor in Legends. I would imagine that in Legends they perhaps have more. Only 20 melee defense. 1000 hit points. Lindworm Helm has 500. And does it have the same stats otherwise? No, it has more melee defense. 7 action points. Resilient. Pathfinder, resilient, menacing, fearsome. I didn't bring the banner. And the Lindworm head has the Gorge attack. Quite devastating. Though I seem to remember this being a reach attack, which it doesn't say here. The Lindworm tail has plenty of things it can do. Tail slam. Oh yeah, will randomly either daze, stun, or knock back. I didn't remember that can happen. Tail thrust, the same thing. Tail split, daze, or stun. 2000 in a straight line. Everything around. Single target. Anyways, usually yes, not worth fighting these things. I'll back off a bit here. Also, Fahad is in the front line, whatever, that's fine. So I'll actually disable those debug keys, since they may mess with some things. So let's see. There. Okay, so yeah, in Legends, a fight like this with an endgame team would be easy. We'll see how it goes here. Could definitely focus more on this as well, but I don't know. We'll just see how it goes. This one being elevated is not fantastic, but it is what it is. So yeah, as far as I can see, this doesn't say anything about it being a reach attack, but... well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, probably use Blitzkrieg straight away, and we won't need Onslaught, I think. It'll be easy enough... well, then again, this is only 78. And only 70. Okay, never mind, we will use the Onslaught. I'll still use those there. Alright. Did I... no, you don't have a reach weapon. Well, that's potentially bad for you. So yeah, I'm kind of half-assing this. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, okay, so they are separate entities, it seems, in Hardened. Unlike in other iterations of the game, as far as I remember. Not sure how I feel about that. There's the Lindworm acid. So if I just go all out here, kind of all out, how will it go? Also, yeah, actually, now that I think about it, one should target the Lindworm tails first in Hardened, since they're separate entities, because the Lindworm tails can daze and stun. And knock back. Anyways. I'll just go for the head here. And yeah, I kind of screwed this up already. I should have separated Leonhard and backed off more, probably. So I can engage with, let's say, 2 of them with Leonhard and just hold them in place, but now I've already engaged. Well, like I said earlier, I'm kind of all over the place today. Not in a good way. Anyways, this is mostly just an experiment. So they're pretty easy to kill, it seems. Okay, never mind. So easy to kill, but they deal immense damage. Raban maybe waits, because I may want to rotate someone somewhere. So actually I can attack and rotate Fahad. That seems like a decent plan. Okay, one of them is already fleeing. Oh, you're already fleeing as well. Okay, well, this is far easier than I thought in that case. What is your resolve? 180. 89. Did we just get lucky with that? No one has fearsome. Well, obviously I'll take it. So yeah. Okay. And let's see, I can use 2 abilities with 10 action points thanks to combo. I should have used perhaps, I don't know, doesn't matter, maybe it doesn't matter. Not the best weapon for this, I think, actually. Not the demolish armor ability, at least. I'll just go ahead and attack here. Okay, so hold steady hits most of us. And surely I cannot use Line Breaker here. Yeah, makes sense. Nor can I use Knockback. I don't know, just use the Indom, I guess. I'll engage with the head, I think. Yes, it is a reach attack. It doesn't say anything about it there, but it is a reach attack. Chance 34, okay. Also, it seems like... Oh, have you rallied yourself? Interesting. Why? I'm trying to take a look here. Does it say anything about them Doesn't seem like. Okay. Anyways, does seem like fighting them straight up regularly is something you can do in Hardened. But obviously this is a very, very late game team. And perhaps we've gotten a little bit lucky here in this fight. Though I could have also played better. Okay, there we go, getting hit. What was the chance? 13. So yeah, the issue is that even if their chances to hit are very low, their damage is just so immense. And the rewards out of these fights is mostly not that exciting. Especially by the time you're able to do this without many issues. I do like their design though, a lot. But the way the game works, it doesn't really necessarily reward fighting a super dangerous enemy like this. Usually. So I'll use this. Maybe the initiative thing will actually be helpful. I remember trying out Fearsome in vanilla against lindworms. Not extensively, but I did try it. And the results were inconclusive. Okay, you're fleeing again. Actually switch back into this. Can I use this and this? So it's 24. I cannot. So I will not. Okay, that was a mistake. Using the decapitation attack there. Yeah, it seems like they're rallying themselves a lot. And as far as I can see, there's really... well, maybe the base resolve is to blame, so to speak, for that. So yeah, you can't really... oh, and missing tail. When received, lower your morale state by 1. Anyways, you can't seemingly rely... at least in Hardened, that they will continue fleeing. Okay, and killing the head does kill the tail. I mean, makes sense. Makes a lot of sense, obviously. Okay, well, there we go. Wasn't that tough. Kind of a little bit sloppy there, but maybe a little bit lucky as well. So end result is this. But yeah, I don't really see many situations in which fighting lindworms is actually a good idea, unless it's Legends, where Well, I already explained why. If things go awry enough, even a late game team can suffer casualties, so what's the point really in fighting them? Anyways, one thing left to do, I think, in the campaign, which is to see how we fare against the really tough Necromancer location. So let's head on over to the north. Okay, not interested in anything else anymore. War. War never changes. Let's see how ridiculous this camp here is. Though I will want to be at full strength for it. So let's switch back into this. Okay, so Farid is also level 23. Make the other changes as I actually see what's inside. Okay. Though have they spawned a patrol? Or did it just return? They don't have any ghasts. Well, I'll do this. So it can be up to 4 necromancers, lots of fallen soldiers, several fallen heroes. I think I've seen tougher versions of this same fight though. Maybe this same camp has been tougher in the past as well. So obviously that is tough, but maybe also, oh no, there's an orc camp there. Okay. Anyways, either I do this or I go and check if... where was it? This place. Retreat of the Harvester is perhaps tougher. I don't know. Well, let's do this. So, lots of necromancers, and I have no archer, so I can't really deal with them. But no ghasts. If there were ghasts, then that would be tougher. Even for us, with our immense resolves. Anyways, I don't need these backline weapons for this. Get rid of them. Let's try to get the lineup cleaned up a bit as well. Go into the back line. So yeah, this is not a good idea to do this if I have no way of dealing with the necromancers quickly, which I don't. Can I outkill 3 to 4 necromancers in a fight like this with this team? We shall see. Do I need Sir Ulf when there's no ghasts? My memory fails me again. Do the fallen heroes have fearsome? And if they do, doesn't matter. I have 3 polearms with bolstering. I guess I go without the banner here. Okay, well, let's see. Anyways, if this turns out poorly for the epilogue episode, I will not pretend it didn't happen, but I will reload to a point where we had the core group still. Anyways, the question is, should I advance here when I can't really get to the necromancers anyway? That's the question. I mean, maybe eventually I can. I do have Vanquisher. I do have Passing Step for Bertwin. The thing is, I'm giving them the Alpha Strike capability if I do so, though. I think I will. One thing that would potentially help a lot as well in a fight like this is Spear Wall. High-level Spear Waller with an actually damaging spear. And some backups because it would break. Anyways, I think I'll advance because it's possible, despite their vast numbers, that I can actually get to at least one necromancer at some point. I see a lot of maces. That's the most annoying weapon, of course. But yeah. Let's say I had this very same team, but also a good archer. Maybe this fight would be far more reasonable in that case. I'll advance all the way over there. This is like the Lindworm fight. Just basically to see how tough these are. I don't think I'd like to do this fight with this team otherwise, basically ever. Because it's just ridiculous. Fallen heroes with two-handed flanked maces when they get possessed. Yikes. There will be a lot of possession. Well, someone's getting bonked. Probably. Though there's so many there. I'll just advance here to that extent, I think. So let's not go all the way there. Acts in 6. The Falcon kind of comes in handy here. Where am I putting you, Fahad? Maybe there. So if I do, where am I putting Farid? Okay, so maybe here for Fahad. Okay, so the game seemingly did show some mercy. There's only 3 necromancers. And the necromancer champion has 2 more action points. Well, anyways. I suppose over here for Horik. Sven here, and we'll use Leonhard on the flank. And since there are no ghasts, I can separate Leonhard a lot. But I can't really rely on him being able to reach the necromancers, I don't think. Can I? I don't think so. One thing I've mentioned a few times is in fights like this, maybe having like a sword specialist with a shield for the passing step would enable one to get there. I don't think there's like any world in which you can flank them when there's so many. And there we go, there's a lot of possession going on, but I do have the disarm, which can be utilized. Fantastic start. Okay, and Bertwin is also wavering. You can also be disarmed. I guess I could also just wait. I don't know. Is there a point? Maybe someone else will be possessed. Damage reduced by 25%. Their melee defense boost doesn't matter. I think I'll just go for the damage already. Such as it is. Yeah, that's decent. I think Riposte won't do much. Not sure though. I mean, maybe it will. Let's use it. They also get a lot of attacks once disarmed. So, I guess, as long as they target him. Okay, Bearded Blade. Nice. Go for this one with the most annoying weapon. I think Blitzkrieg does make sense. Just wondering. I don't know how it works. Blitzkrieg, the tactician abilities have been changed in Hardened since. As far as I know, they haven't been changed in Reforged. At least as of the date of recording. But I may be incorrect. I'm just wondering if with Blitzkrieg you could somehow build someone who can reach their backline. That is to say, the Necromancers. With some aggressive positioning. I mean, if they have adrenaline of their own, plus a shield, and plus a lot of defense, plus passing steps or sword spec, maybe something like that could work. Maybe. Let's not go for any stuns. And yeah, Berserk makes sense, so get that Berserk. Well, the team does have damage, but they have resurrections. Potentially a mistake, getting rid of this one. But I don't think so. It seems like this fallen hero will be blocked by the soldiers. Okay, let's see here. And that should be a berserk. Nice. And then I think I wait for a disarm. And you also wait. Yeah, I don't think I'd like to try to reach their back line with Leonhard. That seems like it's doomed to fail, probably. So let's just hold there. I could use this. I don't think I want to. But I could. Oof. Okay. Nasty hit on Dieter. Very nasty. He's still fine for a little bit, but that was not good. If I can clear some space here, someone could reach these two necromancers. That would help immensely. And I think I will go for this. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is the real danger of these fights. Possessed fallen heroes. With those extremely nasty two-handed weapons. And I also... Oh, I can use this. What the... Didn't they have anchor? Why can I use this then? Why can I select repel for this fallen hero? Oh, if you end your turn on the same tile you started it on, so it's not in effect. Okay, so I could use that if I'd like. Does it actually help though? Acts in 14, acts in 1, so it doesn't. Okay. That's some good damage. Okay, so stun here, I suppose. They do have resilient, so it's only a one turn. Can I have enough damage actually? Maybe I can. I think I'll rely on the damage. Okay, hold steady. Do I also use... No, not yet. I don't think so. Yeah, not yet. Over here, I don't have 3 allies. I think I just move. Good job. Staggered, yes, but does that actually help that much? If I pummel, I'm putting Farid in harm's way. Also losing out on the ally. I think I could use Shatter. That's a lot of fat, though. For only 2 targets. I could also just save fatigue. I'll use that. And actually, now I can use this. But does it help? I mean, the damage reduction is probably worth it. Okay, Dieter, maybe he can actually reach some necromancers. He's already out of fatigue though. No Pathfinder. Which I could have taken instead of killing Frenzy. And also, if this were Reforged, by now he'd have a lot more perks. For those veteran level perks, which don't exist in Hardened. So he would now have Pathfinder. Yeah, something like this is so deadly, even for Leonhard. Disarm, I guess. Can't do anything? Okay. Here's the possessions again. Fallen hero coming in on the flank. Should I deal with this? It's in 12. Doesn't seem like I need to. Okay. Looks like this will be a win, basically always, but also basically always looks like there will be a good chance of struck downs. And decapitations don't really help that much because headless fallen heroes are a thing. Yeah, I think I'll just get rid of this, even though it's not acting now. Target this one first. And also, yes, the wear them down, that does, now that I remember, does prevent the use of Indom. Non-attack skills cost 50% more fatigue. So Leonhard is basically guaranteed to get struck down here. So it is kind of imperative to deal with the necromancers quickly. And now we have an opening. As long as... Oh, goddammit, I should have hit this one. Well, he has good... He has good defense. So he can walk away from that. No, goddammit, though. He can't really... I shouldn't risk that. I should have hit this one, so I can passing step here and then move there. Mistake. Though what I can maybe do is rotate him closer. I don't know though. There's also this one to worry about. Mistakes have been made. Get closer. Time to start spamming Voice of Davkul. Move there. Hold. Okay. Well, it looks like next round this gets significantly easier. Will this be a kill? I think so. Unless it's a headshot. And there is a 51% chance to headshot. And there's also a shatter opportunity. Though, will he have the fatigue? Yeah, Leonhard is getting, at the very least, struck down here. So yeah, I could shatter, but I don't know. Lots of fat. Also, yeah, overwhelmed times 3. And despite there being 2 of them there, since it's Bertwin, he can use the passing step to get to them. So he should be able to handle it. Oh, come on. Jeez. And since Bertwin is there, I'll use Dieter here. Yeah, Leonhard, just get ready to die, basically. That's your job. Welcome back. I really missed you guys. Okay, well this helps. Out of curiosity, okay. I was checking if the Master of Undeath, perhaps being a champion and all, has high melee skill. He doesn't. So he can't puncture Bertwin to death. Not... Oh. Okay, one more shot at that. There we go, good job. Jeez. And also, yes, possessed fallen hero with a great axe. Not a fun time. I can use this though. As with all of the fights I've done today, I could have played this one far better. Anyways, yeah. Leonhard is getting struck down, basically guaranteed, I think. There's not much I can do about it. Anyways, I should have remembered and realized that he can't really handle this. Because of all of these silly abilities that the undead have. Like, wear them down. Formidable approach. And the bone breaker for maces. So you can't really, it seems, rely on tanks against fallen heroes in Hardened. But yeah, this is, while this is very tough, it is doable, even with a suboptimal team. Just not really necessarily worth it. Not worth the effort. Not worth the risk. But yeah, we are winning this, yeah. So I can't really say, can we rely? I guess we kind of can rely on someone like Bertwin almost always being able to reach the back line like this, eventually. And as I've mentioned, if I had an archer, a good archer, or a sword plus shield type, then perhaps perhaps this would be so much more manageable. Oh, that wasn't enough to kill. Surprising. Maybe I could have also, with different kind of positioning, even kept everyone. Technically everyone is still with us, but Lionheart is not, it's not looking very good for you. Not good at all. Yeah. Or maybe if I had some more rotations in the team, I could better manage a situation like this. Anyways, Hakon. I guess he makes a good candidate to go for the final Necromancer. And there we go, getting punctured. 5%. And Jesus, that dealt a lot of damage because of the famed dagger. Nasty. Just nasty. There he goes. And this is not really ideal positioning, but Raban does have rotation. Blocked, of course, and they can push, right? Can this shield push? Oh, come on, let me inspect, thank you. No, shield wall only. This one can. 70 melee skill. I guess I could try to get there. The Necromancer is also getting fatigued out. That is happening. I'll just go for stun there. Oh, they're trying to protect the necromancer. Makes sense. Kind of. And even reaches that far. Okay. Was not expecting all of them to go there. Well done. I guess, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have brought the tank. Maybe if I brought even more damage. Maybe if the team were even better than it is. Maybe then one wouldn't even need those ways of dealing with the necromancers quite as quickly, because formidable as they are, they do go down with enough effort. But yeah, I think if I were to want to fight these enemies, fights like this, camps like this on the regular, then I'd definitely like to have one of the options that I've mentioned. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh dear. Anyways, doesn't matter. This is... Peter, just because I said it doesn't matter doesn't mean you can do that. But yeah, anyways, this is just to see how these fights are. We've accomplished everything we want in this campaign. Oh, come the hell on. Stop missing those. Even though it doesn't matter, I would like to not get struck down, not get killed on Hakon. Oh, what the... Oh, you're back. Yeah, of course. Of course you're back. It's been so long since I've had someone die to these things. I didn't realize. Of course you're back. Well, welcome back. Welcome back, Leonhard. Anyways, for the epilogue episode, despite this result, I'll just load so I can briefly at least mention everyone who's been contributing in this campaign, and actually be able to inspect them as I do so. So I can't use Pummel because of the stupid anchor effect. Okay. Okay. And poor Leonhard does need to be put down. As well as all of these. Okay, well, there we go. I guess maybe, had I played differently, I could have kept everyone alive, but yeah, that was doable. Not a fun fight, to be sure, but we were able to do it. Okay, well, that's the final fight, the final thing I'll do in this campaign. Well, technically not true. There's still one more thing. That is the epilogue episode, which will be next time. Thanks for watching, and I shall see you then.